So it's been a couple weeks since I filmed an update. I went on vacation, came back, and got a few things into the shop that I had to finish up. So I'll go over those really quick. This car came in for just a couple fixes. And then we got a CJ that I got to do a rear bumper on. This car was built by Rock Bottom Off-Road, the shop that I used to work for. This was their buggy that they sold to a customer, and he came to me for just a couple fixes. Nothing too major. He wanted some stoppers welded on because he's only able to run 3 clamps on this, so we just did stoppers on both sides. He wanted some tie-down hooks for just easy loading onto the trailer. This axle, the truss is solid, so there's nowhere really to run a strap through other than through the C, but it's kind of a nightmare getting it through there, so we just welded some hooks on there for him. Make loading up way easier. And then in the rear of this, they originally just had this one tube across the top and it needed to be a tailgate, so added a bottom tube down here and then the aluminum panel, and then there was no like bed sides or anything back here, so any cargo, there was nothing like holding it in. I think he's going to add a cooler mount back here eventually, but right now it's just cargo space back here. So, and then we added a tube, lacing tube right in here so that the shock mount had some support, because this tube was just all the way from here to the front and there was nothing like kind of holding this from coming up. So just added a support tube in there, bedside right here. And then down here in the rear, same thing as the front. 2 stoppers on each end of the ram to hold it from going side to side. These clamps do tend to get loose, so if that ever happens and the ram's going side to side, it's not gonna do any major damage or anything. It's got stoppers now to hold it side to side. This is kind of a unique setup for a rear steer with the Curry diff being rotated up. The ram mount, I did this ram mount several months ago, probably back in like November or something. I built these axles, so this was what I came up with back then, and seems to be working good so far. So it's been a super long last couple weeks. I have been working on the car as hard as possible to get it done by the deadline. I was shooting for June 15th to have this car done, but had a few little hiccups, but nothing too major. But didn't make it for the 15th on Saturday, so now we're switching to Monday. Tonight is Sunday being Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Hope you guys had a great Father's Day. But the car's done, ready to go deliver the car tomorrow morning, so I wanted to give you guys an update of the final product. So last we left off, this thing was going to wiring and plumbing. I don't believe I had the doors in here, so these are how the doors turned out. I had talked about doing the latch a little different, decided to change my mind on that, ended up doing just a simple little slam latch. The way I was thinking about doing the pin in here would have made it to where you had to pull it to close it, and in my mind that just didn't really seem as efficient as I wanted it to be. So these slam latches, you're able to just kind of swing the door closed and it latches and locks in. A little easier to use that way. So pretty happy with how these turned out. Just a nice little tube door, something that it'll probably end up throwing skins on. Ended up adding the little bull bar on the front like I had talked about. Finally got that on there. The hood, we went ahead and trimmed it. The customer decided, instead of trimming like a wheel well out in just the corner, it only barely contacted the corner where the tire at full lock and full bump would have contacted the corner of the hood, but we decided just to trim it all the way up to this tube line. That way when he's in any gnarly like V-notches or on its side or anything, the fiberglass hood will be protected, being trimmed all the way in this far. We ended up doing an aluminum roof. Another little feature we did on this car, the customer had requested to do some kind of passenger T-handle. His wife likes to have something to hold on to. So we did a simple just T-handle, something that after paint or powder coat or whatever, you can throw some like motorcycle or bicycle grips or whatever on this 1-inch tubing and have some nice grips on there. Same thing with these, they're 1-inch tubing. So a grip will slide over that nice if you want to have something over that, or just leave them bare with nothing on them, just painted shift levers. So this T-handle has a QD pin that just pops out. This will slide out, and then we put a storage location right here behind the seat. So you can install that right there, put the QD pin, and that will be stored nice behind the seat whenever you want that out of the way. Then in here, I had talked about all along doing this. I waited till kind of the last minute to finish it up, but we installed the original glove box face so that you could have a nice little spot to put keys or sunglasses or maybe a pair of goggles or something in there, whatever you want to store in there. Nice tucked up, that way it's nothing like up over here that gets in your visibility range, but just a nice little spot to store stuff inside the cab. So yeah, like I said, it's been a super long last couple of weeks. The shop is absolutely thrashed. I've just been working as fast as possible to get this car done. Every project kind of gets to the point near the end where you're just like pulling tools out left and right, not putting anything back. At least in my shop, that's how it is. So this week's gonna be a lot of cleanup, probably Monday after we get the car dropped off. A lot of cleanup and ready to get back on Andrew's car. We did a little bit of welding on the axles and stuff, got those all finished up, ready to put those back in. Then I gotta do ram mounts on front and rear axles on this thing, and then probably get to putting the motor, transfer case, all that kind of stuff in, get those mounts made, and see what else we're gonna do on this thing. So the day is finally here. The customer lives out in Lake Havasu, so I'm on my way to meet him at the halfway point in between where he's located and I. But I'm super happy to see this car getting to him finally. At the beginning of this project, I had promised him a 4-month timeline, and we stayed pretty close to that. So I'm super happy with that timeline and how the car looks. I am a new business, so being trusted with a project of this scale is a super big opportunity, and I'm super thankful for it. I am still fairly new at this YouTube thing. So if you guys are enjoying watching these kind of build series, let me know. All the feedback is greatly appreciated. Helps me kind of push myself to continue making videos. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, keep it classy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.